in this country about marijuana. The reason we are here on campus is because this is a historical event. The only reason we are able to be here today, use a PA system, fill the Diag with thousands of people that can actually hear us and understand what these speakers have to say, is because there's a student group on campus that pulls the permit. Without that permit, we don't have a PA system. Without the PA system, it sounds like this and nobody can really hear what's being said. So it makes sense. Okay? Wait, I've been doing this for years. I walk through the streets of Ann Arbor and people say, oh, that's the guy that puts on the hash badge. I don't put on the hash badge. Somebody else puts on the hash badge. I just MC the event. It's important to me that you know who's responsible for this. And he doesn't really want to say much more than hello, I believe. And I force the issue because I think it's very important that we say thank you and we listen to what he might have to say. Because without the student group on campus, we couldn't be here. So, with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce Mr. Andy Kent from U of M Normal.
Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you all to the 37th annual Hash Bash. I'm so glad to see so many students, old hippies, stoners, even the Ann Arbor Police decided to show up today. I'd like to thank them for coming. I think we have a very important message to get to them, that the drug war needs to end immediately. I'd like to thank the Ann Arbor Police. They follow a much more sensible policy than pretty much any other police officers in this country. I'm sure you all know about the $25 fine, and I'd like to thank the Ann Arbor Police for, having somewhat of an understanding with us. Even if the federal government will still continue to arrest people, well, actually, the government supposedly has ended raids on medical marijuana dispensaries, according to an announcement by Eric Holder, the Attorney General. However, the DEA agents decided to continue raiding people anyway. The original announcement was made by Eric Holder with the DEA current president at his side, and yet select agents of the Drug Enforcement Administration continue to attempt to enforce the laws which are obviously not the will of the people of the United States of America. The Obama administration has seemed to follow a somewhat mixed view on the war on drugs. On one hand, they are claiming that they are supporting drug policy reform efforts. Hillary Clinton recently called the drug war a failure. Yet, at the same time, you have Obama refusing to answer a YouTube question about whether marijuana should be legalized, and instead he eventually did answer it and just said no without any further elaboration. The fact that this question became the number one question online to ask the president shows how widespread our movement is, and yet they continue to ignore us. They continue to attempt to placate our efforts to end the drug war. Obama recently compared Mexican President Felipe Calderon to Elliot Ness, who, as you may recall, is the hero of the film The Untouchables, which is about Prohibition, the original Prohibition. So it's a very strange comparison because he's a character who is actually against Prohibition but staunchly enforces the law of the land, and it's sending mixed messages. We need to send a new message to the current administration that they can't. We will not just stand by and let them give us half truths and say we are with you on drug policy, except we're not really with you on drug policy.
Stop the lies! Stop the lies!
We need to unite together to continue this movement as a group so that we cannot be ignored anymore. Because honestly, we're growing as we're no longer a minority. Like, well, we are a minority, but we're a 43% minority. 43% of us smoke fucking marijuana! Like,
I've been saying
I don't know, like, not that many people actually vote. So, if all 43% of us went and voted, weed could be legalized tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but like in 4 years or something. So if you vote for me for president, if every stoner in America voted for me, I would legalize marijuana. Thank you.
How about that, Mr. Andrew Kent? He didn't want to speak. Listen, the reason that the Ann Arbor Police Department enforced the law that he mentioned, which is the $25 civil infraction, is because the Human Rights Commission, or Human Rights Party back in the 70s, got that law, the $5 pot fine, in Ann Arbor and made it part of the city charter. That was the people. Just like the people in November passed the medical marijuana law in Michigan. You don't have to like the law. That is the law. Now, I like to point out to people that if we don't know our history, we're bound to repeat it. And I carry this piece of paper around everywhere I go, and all my opportunities I get, I like to read this quote, only because I can't remember it. But back in 1937, when Harry Anslinger was testifying in front of Congress as to why marijuana should be made illegal, he claimed that and this is a quote, he said, there are 100,000 total marijuana smokers in the United States, and most are Negroes, Hispanics, Filipinos, and entertainers. Oh wait, it gets better. There's satanic music, jazz, and swing result from marijuana usage. Oh wait, it gets even better. This marijuana causes white women to seek sexual relations. Sleeping with yet. Causes white women to seek sexual relations with Negroes, entertainers, and any others.
we're gonna do it anyway.
This guy helped make marijuana illegal. And where did he go? Andy, right there. And that guy right there, he helped make it legal. We've come a long way. The problem is, every day, they're still out fighting against us. And our next speaker has an absolute horror story to talk about. You gonna tell the whole story?
Yeah, I'll tell the story.
He's going to tell you the whole story, but how many of you heard what happened at Grand Valley State?
Yeah.
That's good. How many of you heard that Michael Phelps was going to be at the Hash Bash? All right, no, we floated that rumor. I just want to make sure more of you heard about the shit in Grand Valley and that bullshit. I forgot his last name, my bad. This cat, I've talked to him a few times on the phone. He knows his stuff. His name's Greg Hatt. And he's going to talk to you about what happened at Grand Valley State University.
Get him! Mad Hatter!
This is my first time out here, so it's great to be here. Is this for some Reefer Madness? Unfortunately, I have a more serious thing to talk about. I don't know if some of you have heard, but there's a real tragedy that went back on in my hometown. And what happened was, I don't know if you guys know about the WeMet program. You guys know about them narcs?
Yeah, we know about
How do you guys feel about those narcs? Yeah, that's about how I feel too. And anyway, the lovely We Met program of our local area decided they were going to raid my buddy's house over a little weed. And they came around his back door at 9 p.m. in the nighttime. And the slider door was open. And they decided to shine a light on his face while he was studying. And you know, the natural reaction when you get a light shine in your face is to cover your eyes. So he went like this. And they gave him a bullet in the chest. Immediately. He was unarmed. He was studying for school, listening to fish music.
Smoke pot, get shot! Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think about that, huh? The drug war is here, the drug war is now. It's a civil war.
Against us. Against us.
The war is against us, it's against you. You're fighting it right now by being here today. Applaud yourselves a second for standing up to the Anyways, this bullet that they shot at him, it pierced his lung, went through his liver as well. Yeah, the mic's fucking up. Alright, are we good now? Alright, I think we're good again. Yes, but lucky for Derek, he made it through. He's alright, he's out of the hospital now. Big round of applause for Diag and show him how much we love him. We love you! We're behind you 100%, man. We love you. Anyway, they didn't like to tell us what happened for obvious reasons. The Grand Valley administration didn't even tell the faculty or make announcements to the students about it until a week later.
Bullshit.
Some bullshit, huh?
What are they hiding?
Yeah, what are they hiding in that big blue curtain, you know? So we decided we wanted some answers, and we wanted some truth, and we wanted some justice done to the situation. We have been being fucked by the police over and over, and each of us on our own, you feel powerless to stand up to this, but when we unite around a cause like this, it gives us power. It's unfortunate that it takes a gunshot sometimes and a real tragedy to get people to unite and stand up. But apparently us stoners need that kind of kick in the ass. But yeah, so we decided that we were going to protest. So we had a big protest at our school's campus, and we got a lot of attention and media on it, and we started talking to people, letting people know. And as of right now, we've been as far west as California, as far east as New York, as far south as Florida, as far as Denmark and Indonesia, that people are hearing about this story. And it's a good thing, because this is not an isolated event. This kind of shit happens all the time. I'm sure a lot of you have had experiences with it. And on the count of 3, I want you to let out all the anger and oppression and hate and just frustration you feel towards this government and on the police. Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Thank you, Ann Arbor, for hearing this story, and keep that in mind, you know, when you're out there on the streets. You're at war. You should treat this like a war. This is a battle. You should be fighting. You're not going to win a battle by sitting on your couch and smoking pot. You got to come out. You got to stand up. You got to be an activist. You got to fight for what you believe in. You guys are making a great step today by coming out and doing what you're doing, and I applaud you for that. But we need more. We need more. Because we got to stop this now. It can't keep going on. I am not okay with waiting 10 years for this war to end.
No.
I'm not okay with waiting 5 years for this war to end.
Nope.
We are starting the movement now. We are starting the movement here. It has to start somewhere. It has to start sometime. So why not be now? Let's start right now.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? Let's start the legalization movement right now.
Yeah.
Today, and I want you to keep standing, keep fighting, keep protesting, keep supporting your brothers and sisters who are affected by this war. Keep standing up for injustices. Unite people together. Use the tools you have available to you. You guys can make a real difference. You guys can make a real change. And I want to see that change. Do you guys think you can be that change?
Yeah! Be the change!
must be that change. Thank you, Ann Arbor.
You have to understand that the student voice on campus all around America is louder than it's ever been. On campuses all across this country, there are all kinds of student groups now protesting the laws on drugs and the war on drugs. I was reading an article in, the other paper the other day, Friday's paper. Leonard Pitts talked about legalizing drugs, and they talked about the war on drugs in 1970 when they started it. They claimed that there was 1.3% of the population was addicted to drugs. Well, all these years later, the same government claims that the same 1.3% of the population is addicted to drugs. Sounds like they haven't done anything to me. The problem is
cheaper and more plentiful than
we've
ever.
had to fight against what they've set up against us, and we're constantly going to battle. And it's this next generation that's going to make the difference. So it warms my heart to have these college students here. I can remember the day when there were no college students speaking at the Hash Bash. The biggest thing going on campus across America now is SSDP. How many folks have heard of that? All right, now here's my favorite part. How many of you folks are actually in town for the Midwest Conference for SSDP? All right. How many of you are college students? That's impressive to a guy that's been standing up here for 20 years, I'll tell you that. This next guy runs the SSDP chapter on campus here. He's also put together the conference, so those of you that are at the conference owe him a big debt of gratitude. I tried to explain to him yesterday that when those of us that do this wake up in the morning, we can't stop what's going to happen. It just happens. And there's no reason to stress about it, because I can remember at noon when there were snowflakes falling a few years back. So. With great pleasure, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Chris Childs.
Thank you so much, Adam. It's really great to see all of you guys out here. And yeah, I remember a couple years back when I first spoke here, it was snowing. So let's be happy about today. Yeah. Definitely. So, yes, my name is Chris Childs. I am the Executive Director of Students for Sensible Drug Policy at this university. I also serve on the National Board of Directors, but SSDP is actually an international grassroots network of students who oppose the war on drugs. We oppose the war on drugs, and we know that's causing a lot more harm than good. So we do everything we can to make sure that everyone else knows this. And I know most of you already know this, but it's important to stay educated on it. It's important to continually think about what a sensible drug policy would look like. And like Adam was saying earlier, there is going to be a Midwest Regional Conference of Students for Sensible Drug Policy tomorrow. It's going to be a really huge event, and it's going to be a great opportunity for people to learn more about drug policy reform and also network, collaborate, work with other student activists. So I do highly encourage all of you guys to come to that conference. I mean, how many people are coming to the conference?
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, there's a good amount of you here. Obviously, I can't meet as many people as Hash Bash does every year. This is the first time this university has hosted this regional conference, but it is going to be a really big event. There's going to be some great speakers. Ethan Nailman will be giving the keynote address. For those of you who don't know, Ethan Nailman is the Executive Director of Drug Policy Alliance. Drug Policy Alliance is the largest organization in the United States promoting alternatives to the war on drugs. They do so much work. Ethan Nailman is one of the few key world figures. Maybe I shouldn't be talking, actually, just promoting someone else speaking. But I want you guys to know this conference is going to be really big, really huge, really fun, really cool. I could, give you so many adjectives for it, but there will be more information. If any of you guys are going down to the Monroe Street Fair, there is going to be an SSDP table with more information about our group, more information about the conference. So I'm really glad that I can talk to you guys today. I don't want to take up too much time because there are more speakers. So thank you very much for letting me speak, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.